feel like you cannot buy land in Kenya. It's gone. It's gone. You buy land.
But you haven't mentioned about the ladies in Botswana. Is there something wrong with it? We have one in the studio. I have no further questions.
No further questions.
I'm a happy man.
The people are the CEO, the COO, the CFO. They're all old people.
Yeah.
Now ask yourself, where will young people get the money from? Because the money has to come from somewhere.
Maybe you guys can speak some French, you know?
Okay. This is the best day to use bienvenue.
Yeah, your skills.
Bienvenue.
Yeah. Bienvenue in each podcast. Mon nom c'est Kevman.
C'est Yves.
Mon nom c'est
Mon nom c'est
Jeff. Mon nom c'est Jeff. Ça c'est épisode 55.
55.
55. Aujourd'hui, nous avons un visiteur.
We're not gonna get it.
Au revoir.
Aujourd'hui c'est vendredi.
Non, ça. Vendredi c'est samedi, oui.
This guy is going to get a lot of DMs, man, from chicks. Eh? Yeah,
C'est samedi.
let's stop it, please.
Il y a mouche. Les autres hosts are not here. My French is n'est pas ici. Chris Baby et Lorraine. They send their apologies. But welcome to another episode. As you can see, we have a special guest for you today.
Yeah.
Welcome. We feel very welcome.
Bro,
I hope
my
my
need to be a little bit warm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We're getting there.
welcome. I hope my French wasn't too terrible.
huh?
My French was okay.
I mean, your French is okay, especially when you live in Kenya. You know? Kenya is like English.
Yeah.
Englishman land, you know what I mean?
So it's been a week since our last episode. What we usually do is we take the other host through what you have been through the whole week.
Now, tell us through the experience with the lights in Nairobi.
Yeah.
I mean, like
The
for-
lights.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't expect it. You know, that's for sure. Because I usually have a high standard for Kenya. I think Kenya, it's really up there. I don't think Kenya is a third world country. You know what I'm saying? I think Kenya is a second world country. So if you go like in Tanzania, the light shortage is like every day. You know what I'm saying? you get used to it, right?
Yeah.
Uganda is not that much like Tanzania, but also you still get used to the lights gonna disappear. So today when the lights, last night when the lights went, for me I thought it was gonna be like a few minutes. You know what I mean?
Same.
So-
to us.
Yeah, we are as surprised as you, man.
You know what I mean? So I was about to take a shower too, as I can't get no hot water. You know what I mean? And I had to boil hot water. You know what I'm saying? So, and when I woke up in the morning, the lights still not there again. So I start getting worried. You know, so people like, what is going on? But you guys got the lights, so hopefully the lights will come back.
Yeah, in it is always in it,
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
for sure.
When you're
for
in
sure.
here,
But the rest of Kenya, mnachoma, man.
like for us, honestly, we wanted to dress the way we are dressed. Like especially for me, I just took what was ironed. I was going to carry my iron box to the studio with clothes.
For sure.
I was pretty pissed. I was so angry. with KPLC in particular.
I mean, also one of my friends is David. David said the electricity is gone in the countrywide, right?
Yeah.
So my question is, what's happening for the industries, like factories, businesses? You know what I'm saying, are they gonna spend a whole day without productions?
I'm guessing for industries they have backup generators.
If they don't, they're just taking losses.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there like any insurance payments for that?
Now we have to be in that position. Because for me, when I'm at work and there are no lights, I'm like, alright, I'm head out. See you guys tomorrow.
And I think that's the problems, the lack of accountability.
Yeah.
If the what's the name of the energy provider in
Kenya Power.
If Kenya Power, for example, had to pay people,
Sorry.
I got it. If they had to pay, businesses when they lose productions because of their mistake, probably they, be a little bit more serious,
Yeah, for sure.
But they're the main suppliers, so they're just like,
it's
either we supply or we don't. There's no way you're going to take us
accountable.
It's a government company, right?
Yeah.
That's why.
So they're taking all charge, and we just have to wait. It's a waiting game at this point.
Yeah. Actually, one of my least favorite Kenyan company. Guess what? Guess which company?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Trust.
My biggest enemy company in Kenya I hate the most. It's one company that I hate the most in Kenya. Kenya Airways.
Why Kenya Airways?
Bro. Yeah. Those people that are thieves.
You lose your luggage.
No,
like that.
It's not even that, bro. Miss a flight and say.
You know
what I'm saying? Even if it's their fault, right? Last time I was going to Uganda and I got the airport on time. Then I went to the the check-in, and then the lady said, "Oh, you cannot go to Uganda until you have yellow fever card, right?" And that's the lady. Hey, do you think I'm gonna miss a flight if I go over there? Maybe I can switch my flight right now. She's like, no, don't worry about it. Just go get it. It's gonna take 2 minutes, and then come back. So I went to this office they have at the airport, and there was these two old ladies. And they kind of stalled me, right? They just kept talking. I'm like, yeah, I need this card. They just kept talking, don't care, you know what I'm saying? So then at the last minute, they're like, oh, you're going to need to go take the vaccine right there. So I took a vaccine.
You had to pay for it?
And I had to pay for it.
You had to pay for it.
So I paid for it. Then I ran back to the check-in. The lady's like, oh, you're late. You know what I'm saying? You can't fly. So I'm like, okay, so what should I do? And she's like, oh, just go over there to the sales office. The sales office is at least like a kilometer away. So go over there and just they're gonna put you the 2 p.m. flights. It sounds too easy, right? So I went to the sales office. I'm like, hey, I missed my flight, and the lady said she'll come over here. And she looked at the computer for a minute, and she's like, yeah, you have to pay $230.
Damn.
I'm like,
that's mad.
But this is exactly the same money I pay for the flight. So am I buying the flight twice? Oh, no, you're not buying the flight. It's just a fee. I'm like, but why is the fee exactly equal to the price? Fair price? It's like, no, it's just a fee. When you leave, we put those fees on. I told the lady, I'm not going to pay for the flight. There's no way I'm going to pay for it. And she's like, no, then there's no way you're going to leave. I tell her, can I speak to the manager? She's like, oh, the manager's all the way to the other block over there. You know what I'm saying? You can go speak to him. I'm like, can you call him? You got a phone right there. Can you just call him and be like, hey, there's a guy here who wanna
change his flight,
change the flight, and he has a problem, wanna talk to you. She's like, no, I'm not gonna call for me. I have to go all the way down. So when I went back to the other side, and this is one guy, is a really nice guy actually. That's probably the best employer they have over there. The rest they had really attitude. They don't want to talk. They don't want to help
like
you out.
They hate the job.
It's like they hate the job. It's really sad, but
typical Kenya.
So the guy was like, yeah, I understand, man. I'm really sorry for that, but I'm gonna remove $100 off that. Just go back there and pay, whatever's the balance. So I went back there. As soon as I got there, I say, hey, the guy say, we're just gonna pay $130. And the lady's like, oh, the time we went there and come back, the flight went up.
Wow. In that short period.
Yeah, in that short amount. Then I asked her, so you let me go to the other side. You should have called. Now I went to the other side, come back, the flight is up. I'm like, I'm not going to pay. I'm just going to pay $130. And then we had a little bit of fight. She called the manager. The manager's like, yeah, just give me the flight. Give me the flight. I paid $130. And my flight was 12 p.m. They moved to 12 in the night.
Damn.
So I had to wait for another 12 hours to leave.
That's mad.
Yeah,
but that's when we say, welcome to Kenya. The experiences are like that. Even in campus, you're going to go to one office, you're going to be sent to another.
Yeah.
I think it's something we go through on the daily.
Yeah, that's
It's
how
annoying,
you
but,
earn your idea or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's good for Kenya Airways because the business is not doing great.
Yeah, for
Those
sure.
guys don't make no money, right?
yeah.
You know,
Kenya in general is just not doing that great.
you know what I mean? Like if you look at Ethiopian Airways, for example,
Yeah.
first class services.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You miss your flight, they put you on the next flight, zero charges. Even if it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if I just show up late, I'm like, hey, I got my flight, I'm late.
Yeah.
The next flight, free.
Ah, that's so more reason to go to Ethiopia.
You know, I mean, it's for me, I thought it's like a standard procedure. Nowhere else they will charge you flight twice. You know, I mean, I missed my flight from New York to Boston when I was coming to Africa, 3 times. And I'm saying 3 days. So we got there and I was late, and they just put me on next. And the next I missed it too. They put me on the next.
The next time you're missing the next one.
Yeah. So,
try doing that in Kenya.
they're gonna
They
get
have to make the most.
Yeah, they're gonna keep paying it over and over again. Also, the Kenya Airways is always late. They will delay your flight all the time. Yeah.
Just Kenya for you, honestly. That's the simplest explanation I can give you.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, this is in it. Now you're in it. For us, in it just means whatever it means in your head.
You are
in
here.
the
You're
UK,
in
it
it.
isn't it. To
Yeah.
us, you just
You are here.
You're in it.
Yeah, you're here. It just
Yeah.
depends with how you use it in the sentence.
Yeah, I mean, your name is a little bit unique, I would say, but the thing is, I don't really like the word "you're in it." The reason why is like there's a beef between British accent and American accent.
Yeah.
So nobody want to use those kind of words, but I like it. My name is Eve. You know, for people who don't know me yet. I mean, a lot of people don't know me anyway, but my name is Eve. My profession, I do digital marketing. That's my professional. More like a nomadic type of guy. Like to live different places, different countries, and see different things and different food. So I'm in Kenya right now. I've been here for I was there last month and left shortly, and then I came back. I love Kenya. I guess. Any specific question? And also, I'm in Kenya right now. We kind of bring it in the An Africa Academy. It's an education company. We provide education for virtual assistant works. Right now we have 2 programs, general virtual assistant and digital marketing. And we're going to be having more programs in January next year. Yeah.
So the nomadic lifestyle, I'm interested about it. I had it in the Ikonini episode. I was like, wow, this guy is living the life.
Yeah.
I mean, your house is your bag.
Yeah, Kanye West.
Can you see that?
My bag.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
So how is that working? I want to be you in the future.
No, I mean, nomadic life it sounds good. It's not usually good in practical, right? The thing is, to be like a nomadic, there's some stuff you have to kind of like clear out. You cannot have attachment to things or people because you're gonna have to move every second. Number 2, you cannot be married. So if you are married and have your kids, your wife will divorce you.
Oh yeah.
The other thing you have to know is a little bit like, the flights and stuff like that. Can tire you out. You know what I mean? And you're gonna live in a different country with different people, so you kind of have to be a little bit smarter in terms of like not get robbed. You know what I'm saying? Because you go in a new country, don't know nobody. And you have to kind of like stay in that place.
Yeah.
So one of my tricks I use is when I go to another country, I like to stay with people. You know what I mean? When I'm looking for Airbnb, I don't like to have the Airbnb on myself. You know what I'm saying? Right now I have by myself because my second time coming back in Kenya. But the reason why is if you stay with the people, like let's say for example I come to Kenya, I stay in your house, take a bedroom, I stay in there. So if I now have a problems, I can ask you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I want to know like, hey, what is the safest place to go? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have that support. So that's one of the things. And also you're gonna save money in terms of like your stays.
Yeah.
So to go on, I had a question in mind, but it's kind of lost. Oh yeah, the nomadic lifestyle. So one of the things I caught on what you said is that if you're below 30, you shouldn't be in a relationship.
You know what I mean?
That was my favorite thing you said.
Wait. To add on, I'm currently watching this series called Blacklist. And the way you're describing the nomadic life, there's a character over there called Reddington. It's kind of the same thing. He's a criminal. No family, different countries.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think the world, is big, right? And traditionally, everybody has been programmed. That's you have to buy a house, and you have to settle somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But if you go back long time ago, when before human beings start living in settlements, we never used to have a house. People just wake up in Nairobi and sleep in Addis Ababa, and they will never come back here again. It's over, right? So
movement.
So the world is so big for just you to have an address. And there's so many things to explore. There's so many stuff to know. So a lot of good food to eat. And there's so and especially Africa is so beautiful because every country is different. Every country has different things to offer. So I believe that, and also being under 30 years old, I think you should if you don't have your finances right.
So many of us are like that.
What I'm saying? I think you should focus on that. One of the trick I think in life is focus, right?
Yeah.
So you should focus on one thing at a time. I should focus. If you're focusing on the money, you're focusing on how you look. One thing at a time. I'm gonna give you an example. Most of the rich black people, they're dark skin. I'm saying? Have you ever seen a light skinned guy is rich? I'm just want to tell you.
It's a good point of view.
Have you ever seen a light skinned guy? It's really few people. Light skinned guys who are rich. It's really not that too much. And the reason being is it's my opinion though. It's not. I don't think it's like, but it's my opinion. I think when light skinned people, for example, they kind of focus on their
looks.
You know what I'm saying? And a black guy, a dark-skinned guy, is not worried on going in the street and pushing, pushing whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's not worried about getting dirty. And I think that's why,
light skinned niggas are watching this like.
But light-skinned guy get women though.
For sure. I was watching actually something on TikTok, and they were saying, you see, if I come to you guys and tell you, I have a light-skinned chick, automatically you think she's fly. But I tell you, I have a dark-skinned chick, you're like, so show us a photo.
That's actually funny. But my friend, I always this may sound a little bit bad, but it's just my way, right? In my dating life, I do this, right? So there's a dark and there's white.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm dating, I either date dark skin or a white girl. I don't date
no in between.
You know what I mean? So
interesting.
I found dark skin women exotic.
I actually love dark skin.
And I find them very, very, very attractive. I find light skin women look alike, all of them. It's just my opinion. So yeah, I like either dark or white.
If I speak, I'll be in trouble.
But anyway, you're a well-traveled guy, right?
I like to say so, but not yet.
For someone maybe in Kenya who's listening to this for the first time, in Africa, which countries will you recommend apart from Kenya, of course?
I mean, Kenya. I will say Kenya. If you're born in Kenya, you're already a little bit ahead of a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? You're already ahead of a lot of other countries, right? You have access to a lot of infrastructures other countries don't. You have access to internet, consistent internet. You have access to the electricity, even if today is gone. But but you have access to electricity, and also you have access to the best universities in Africa.
I mean, we take forever to graduate.
I heard about it. You finish when you're 30 or some shit. Something like that. And then you never get a job in your life. And then you finish school when you're 30. Then after you finish school, you think about what you're gonna do.
You know
what I mean? So anyway, when you're born in Kenya, you're already ahead of people. You have much opportunities. You have access to good educations. You have access to some good infrastructures like electricity, internet, and also most of international companies when they come to Africa, they come to Kenya. So you are more easily to find high-paying jobs in global companies in Kenya than if you're in Uganda. You know what I mean? So the thing I don't like about Kenya is a lack of rule of law. That's just one of my thing about Kenya. I feel like Kenya somebody can kill you and get away with it easy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I feel like in Kenya somebody can rob your stuff. And get away with it.
For sure.
I feel like in Kenya, one of my rules is like never buy land in Kenya. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you cannot buy land in Kenya. It's gone. It's gone. You buy land. You buy land in Kenya. It's gone. So, but I feel like Kenya is really, really good place to do business. You know what I'm saying? Population of Kenya has one of the best spending power in East Africa. Not even East Africa, in the whole Africa. You know what I mean? In Kenya, you can sell a product for $500 and people will afford it. Go do that in Tanzania.
Damn.
There's a few people who want to buy your product. So, I think Kenya is really a bit ahead of a lot of countries. But one of my favorite countries is Botswana.
Botswana.
Yeah.
What's happening over there? Why is it one of your favorites?
I like Botswana because good rule of law. You know what I mean? They're one of the best GDP per capita. So
what?
So you didn't know, buddy?
No, take me through it. But I'm also learning.
A lot of people don't know about it, but Botswana is actually a hidden gem. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know about it. But Botswana is actually about to become a first world country very soon. It's gonna be the first African country to become a first world country. Botswana spending the GDP per capita. I don't remember the numbers, right? But it's ahead of Kenya. You know what I mean? Sure. Number two, Botswana has less people. It's like something between 10 to 15 million people. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Botswana has export of diamonds. You know what I mean? So I think Botswana is, and also is very, very, very peaceful. You know what I mean? So Botswana found it to be, a good country in terms of like living in. You know what I mean? Kenya is good country in terms of like doing business. Yeah.
I totally understand. But you haven't mentioned about the ladies in Botswana. Is there something wrong? We have one in the studio. I have no further questions.
No further questions.
I'm a happy man. But so now that you live like the nomadic lifestyle and you're in the digital marketing space, maybe you take it through. You take us through it. Sorry, hey, that's a wasted. You take us through it because I only see the only way you can manage to live this lifestyle where you're in this place and this place is only through online. If you're working online, then that's manageable. So enlighten us.
I mean,
how you do it.
I mean, people they have to understand first. The economic change which is happening right now, right? If you look, in 1800s, there was like industrial revolutions. And back then, people were moving from the village to the city. And that's when you had like New York. That's when you see the invention of like skyscrapers because people are moving in the cities in the small place they have to build stuff. So now in 90s we had internet revolutions, basically information revolution, right? So in that case, that's when you start seeing like companies like Yahoo coming up and stuff like that. And then computer science become a big deal, right? So right now we are going to go through another revolution, which is gonna be more like AI as well. Also another second layer of internet revolution as well. So which means the world is going to be a little bit compressed. It's going to be a little bit smaller, whereby doesn't matter where you are, you can still participate in a global market. So for so many years, if you wanted to have a good life, you had to move to the United States. You have to move to Europe, you have to move to wherever. But right now you don't have to move actually.
Yeah, my parents are too much pushing me to.
You don't
get out of here.
When you move, you're gonna suffer more than staying here. I'm just saying.
For sure.
Just saying from my experience is, most companies, for example, when I was running my digital marketing company, I always hired people overseas. You know what I mean? And there's a few reasons why I did it. So number one is it's cheaper to hire somebody. I have two employees. One is in India, another in the Philippines. So if I'm hiring somebody in the Philippines, I'm gonna pay like $1,500 a month. And $1,500 a month, you're going to work 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? You're going to work 10 hours. You're gonna be available anytime I want. And number two, I may give you my clients to run maybe the marketing, right? I'm paying $1,500 a month, and the clients are paying me $5,000 a month. You know what I mean? And I don't have to do anything no more. You're gonna have to do all the work. So this has already expanded, not just like in digital marketing, even the hospitals in America, they have most of the teams overseas. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, one of the most common thing is call center. I don't know if you've heard about call center. Most of the call center in America, they're in India. Every company you call is an Indian person picking up the phone. You know what I mean? That doesn't matter if it's Apple, Microsoft, any company, the call center is in India. So that is, you can see, right? So you don't really have to go to United States anymore to get a job. You just have to get the right skill. You know what I mean? That's going to give you a job. Doesn't matter where you are. You know what I mean?
So, which begs my question. So, you're advocating for us to get the skills, or rather, majority to get the skills. Rather, what about education? Does it play a role in all of this? I mean, I can be skilled, but
I think you must go to school up to high school.
Up to high school.
You know what I mean? You must do that. You know what I mean? If you don't have high school, I think at that time you should just go be a farmer. You know what I mean? And farming is actually a good business. Really good business.
I know a few guys.
Yeah, but by 2050, the World Bank estimate that the food production in Africa will be about $1.7 trillion industry. You know what I mean? And if you can see, the American company called Cargill, they're already buying up the land in Cote d'Ivoire, in Tanzania. They're buying up the land everywhere.
They're cooking.
Yeah, they're already planning. And the Cargill makes more money than the entire country of Kenya. You know that? It's one company. It's a family owned. They have revenue of $142 billion a year, and Kenya has GDP of $116 billion. So one company is bigger than the entire country of Kenya.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think education in Africa, you kind of stuck in 80s.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
We also had a conversation about this not a while back.
Yeah.
We're just out of university, and the things we learned in university aren't applicable in the industry.
Yeah. So, for example, most education we got in universities, it's the same education our fathers got.
Yeah,
for sure. It's probably almost same curriculum. And the reason being is, I feel like most businesses and companies in Africa, they don't hire the most qualified people. They hire somebody who they know. Or
most connected
or corruption.
Yeah.
And that's why, there's no innovations in things, right? So education, right now, we are moving to a different world, right?
Yeah.
So most of the curriculum you're learning, it does not really have any market demand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, African education need to be...
It's outdated.
Also, you're not supposed to spend 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? Like 5 years in a school. I just think it doesn't make sense anymore. It does not make sense anymore. You know what I mean? You're learning one thing, 5 years. By the time you finish, that thing has already been updated 10 times. You know what I'm saying? It's irrelevant now. You know what I mean? So I feel like the future of education is going to be skills on demand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that means, let's say you want to go into computer science. You don't have to go in university and take the entire computer science class. You can go to university and take like PHP or Python. You know what I mean? For 3-6 months, you're done. You can go get a job as a backend developer or front end developer. You're a graphic designer. You don't have to go learn all the graphic design. You can go there and learn how to design the front end of the app.
Yeah.
And I'm saying if you know how to build, because my agency, we do build apps for businesses. You know what I mean? And my designer makes about $2,000-$3,000 every app to just design the front end. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's going to be the future of education is course on demand, skill on demand. What do you want to do?
But my question is, when it comes to like skill on demand and everything, like for us, for example, we are graphic designers, but AI is kind of threatening our work.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat the original. Come on, we can do a few things AI can't. Well, what's your take on it? Like at the same time, people are entering in the digital space, but AI is coming and covering up a lot of things.
Let me give a little bit of a story, right? This always happens. Every time there's a revolution or a new product in the market, people are like, oh, you guys are gonna lose job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there are always some people who succeed.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
What I mean? So I'm gonna give you an example. When I started my digital marketing in 2018, people were like, how can somebody pay you to manage their social media? They can just do it themselves. They can just take a photo and they post and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't know. People own businesses that 50 years and above. You know what I mean? So they're gonna still pay you $3,000 to $4,000 to just post go the same job that we do. And number two is when you're young, you have money. you have so much time, but you don't have money.
Yeah.
When you're old, you have so much money,
you
have no time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people will just pay for just time.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So AI also, back to AI, is not everybody knows how to ask the right question.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're going to ChatGPT, you know what I mean? We can be looking for same things, but we don't know how, we don't ask questions the same. Which means we get different solutions.
Yeah.
So they're going to be actually in our digital marketing class, we teach the right prompting. How to ask the right question to get exactly what you're looking for. And that's gonna be the one actually the biggest skills moving forward in terms of like the AI and the generative models.
Yeah.
That in turn creates awareness, you know, for our youth, for, you know, whatever you're searching for, at least you have like 90% of getting it. Chances accurate.
I mean, but there's one thing actually Jay-Z said before is people have so much information that they don't know what to do. You know what I mean? You know, back in the day, when your dad was a doctor, you grew up in there, I'm gonna be a doctor because my dad is a doctor. So you know, you have focus, and you have made a decision.
Yeah.
So you have way more chance of becoming
a doctor.
Yeah.
So now, so I was talking to my friend the other day about motivational speaker. I hate motivational speaker, bro.
They get you feeling some time for some time.
I don't know, bro. Like, I hate motivational speakers so much that I had to unfollow everybody, and every time they come on my timeline, I'm like, report. You know what I mean? So, motivational speaker, sometimes they're a problem. You know what? You can wake up in the morning and you're like, hey, man, I'm going to do this business. I like it. I have all the information I need. And then you watch another motivational speaker like, yo, that business is not good. You know what I'm saying? You should do this. You know what I mean? So I think that has been the problems when it comes to people making decisions. Is there's so much information.
Yeah, but
they don't know what to choose to do.
You know what to do, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, by AI, I don't think it's going to disrupt graphic design. I think if anything, we make it better and actually cut down the time for you to design stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It make your job more efficient. You know what I mean? But it's not going to disrupt graphic design.
I didn't want to tell you about the banner behind, but AI had some help to do this. I just took all the credit.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it made your work easier.
Yeah,
but the thought was yours, the original thought.
Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying is AI is going to disrupt mediocre. People who are mediocre, they're going to be disrupted. But people who are professional, they know what they're doing. They're going to use AI to become even
better,
efficient. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, right now there's an AI you can use to run like a campaign. You want to run like a Google campaign on a Google. You know, hey, you know, you can just, this AI will go find a keyword research, audience, target audience, with locations, all these objectives, right? You know, you're gonna run a campaign for you. But you need a human interventions in it. You know what I mean? So if you are already good at it and then you add AI, that means your business becomes 10 times cheaper to run, as we're more efficient, and you make more money. You know what I mean? So, but if you're not good at it already, you may as well not continue learning.
I think the people who are good at it won't be phased by AI. Because there was something I was watching about art in the late 1800s. In the 1900s, if you look at art in the 1800s, it was super realistic. You wonder how they did such. But in the early 1900s, the photography came through. And drawing super realistic stuff became irrelevant because you can just take a photo of it. So everyone was like, what are the artists going to do? The best artists evolved. That's why it became movements like Fauvism, you know, Cubism, things like that, which are not realistic, but they show something. So that's the same thing that's going to happen to
every day, bro. Even when they made the cartoon movies, you know the cartoon movies?
Yeah.
One of my favorite cartoons is Simpsons. I don't know if you've watched The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I've watched that stuff like 5 times. You know what I mean? So, you know, Rana is like my bedtime story. You know, when I'm about to sleep, I just put it on and just go to bed right away. But when they made the cartoon movies, the actors, they thought they're going to get fired and they're going to make all the movie they're just going to use cartoons. Like, if you can just make a drawing and, act, why would you want to pay $1 million to the actor?
Yeah.
But the best actors, they're still there.
Yeah, for sure.
Relevant.
So, if you go back to education, that is, for me, I have really, really big problems with education, especially African education. Because education is very, very expensive. You know what I mean? Parents sell land, sell their cows, sell their house, and they take their kids to school.
Yeah.
And the hope is the kid will go to school
get out
and get a job and buy back all this shit, all this stuff I sold.
Black tax.
But the school, they will happily take your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They will happily take your money. They don't care, you sold your land. They don't care about. They give you the education, right?
Yeah.
But what is the outcome?
It's the bare minimum, really.
It's even substandard quality of education.
Yeah, and I'm saying, you went to school, right? You went to school. Everybody went to school right here.
Yeah.
How many people are actually working what they study?
Can I raise my hand? But it's not enough money.
It's not enough.
I mean, so the reason why is because we've been a little bit capping stuff, especially now in Africa, entire Africa. Most of the countries, their constitutions, their democratic constitutions, is a copy of America.
Oh yeah.
They just go to America
and they copy
and just
all the
check
shit.
the constitutions. And they'll be like, yeah, this is Kenya constitution now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And curriculum is the same things. The only thing about curriculum is they kept it so bad. I mean, they copied the 80s and then they just kept that. You know what I mean? But if you go to a good universities, curriculum is updated every semester. You know what I mean? If you're doing computer science, there's a blockchain, they will update the curriculum to match the market demand. If there's AI, they will automatically update the curriculum, add AI models in it, right? So African education, I think, is a scam. I believe it's a total scam. Only people who profit from it is universities. They take all the money from the parents, and kids comes out. They have education, but the education they have is mediocre. It's irrelevant. It doesn't have any market demand, and also there's no jobs in the country. But even if you try to export the education you took, when you go to United States, the first thing they do, they take you back in the school. You know what I mean? They don't even want to hear you have a degree. You know what I'm saying? They just put you back in the school, and you learn. But the high school education in Africa is better than America.
High school.
Yeah. The high school education in Africa is way, way better than America by far.
And brutal.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And because you don't use the calculator. People over there use the calculator since they are 5 years old. If you tell them 5 times 5, they don't know. They put out the phone 5 times 5. But the higher education in Africa need to be changed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what you'd suggest is that for an African student who wants maybe to start life in the US or something, rather goes there with a skill than
a degree or
papers
something.
just from campus and stuff like that.
I would say it's better to be a barber than become a mathematician. The reason why is if you're
tell that to the ladies, man. Also, I need them to understand where we're coming from.
My dad used to say, at the lowest, your talent will serve you. You know what I'm saying? At the lowest, when you get your lowest, your talent is the only thing gonna serve you. So they see like being a barber. It's such important skill. That's a lot of people don't understand. There's no way they're gonna have AI shaving people's heads. And if you go anywhere in the world, there's always demand. And the more you go to the developed country, the more demand is higher. You know what I mean? If you go to, for example, United States, and you know how to cut the hair, you get a job exactly the same day.
Okay.
If you let's say the skill like driving trucks, it's a good skill.
Yeah.
Very high paying skill.
Yeah.
And if you have a mathematics degree and I have a license to drive trucks and I have my experience with it, and me and you, we both go to France. You're going to go back in university. They're going to put you back 4 years, but they're going to give me the job exactly the same day. And by the time you finish, you're going to probably be earning less than what I'm earning with truck driving. You know what I mean? So I think right now the world is very competitive because it's no longer like, I'm in Kenya, I'm good in Kenya, that means it's enough. It's not enough now.
That's right.
Because your company in Kenya can replace you with somebody in India. You know what I mean? So you cannot compare yourself to like just your peers.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have now
It's a global
it's
thing.
a global market. Now, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you have to really compete on a global level. There's one guy, you guys say do graphic design. There's one guy, he has this channel called Future. Is what I like to watch him a lot because he does marketing and he does graphic design and he does branding. He created logos for business. $15,000
$15,000
per logo.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
I'm being underpaid.
and the logo he's creating, and the one thing he said was, my logo, there's no difference between my logo and the one you're gonna create for $100. The difference is just simple. It's my testimony, my reputation.
It speaks for itself.
You know what I mean? You can, because you're gonna get that 15,000. He's not gonna create it. He's going to give a junior designer in his firm to design. He's not himself designing it. So you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, when you're on the top of your game, you know what I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you're gonna make it. You just gotta be on the top of your game.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
him.
Yeah,
It's him.
it's just your names speak volume. And one
That's
thing,
on a global scale.
yeah. So you gotta have your name. A lot of people I always complain about customer service in Kenya. That's just not Kenya. The reason why is, I'm gonna give you a simple example, right? KFC. Last time I was in Kenya, KFC was not here. Now I come back, KFC is everywhere. I want you to think about KFC. Which other chicken shop used to be here before?
Chicken in.
And
Ken Chick.
so why do you think KFC is big than them? Even those guys that have been in the market for 10, 20 years?
It's global.
It's
like
global.
all over the
Yeah.
world.
Not
It speaks
really.
for itself.
It's not really. So the other thing, right? If I go to KFC, there's an expectation I have. My food is gonna be tasting the same, like the way I tested in Europe or anywhere else. Consistency, right? Number 2, it's going to be fast. You know what I'm saying? Number 3 is going to be a clean environment.
Okay.
So I said that's number 1. When you go to businesses in Africa, it's not just in Kenya, but African businesses, is they don't care if you come back. That's kind of the attitude, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't care if you come back, you know what I'm saying? So, one simple example is a refund policy. Let's say you buy something, it's not working, you want to return that stuff.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you your money back.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So that's one itself, it shows that you don't actually trust what you're selling.
Yeah.
Because if you trust what you're selling, you should be able to give my money back and hoping that somebody else will come and buy it.
Yeah. True.
You know what I mean? So, the KFC, they're on top of their game. They understand what actually matters. You know what I mean? And some of the people in Africa, they just don't get it. And they're very, very inefficient. And number 2 is a lot of people, they take money out of business and they don't put money back in a business. You understand?
Yeah.
You can see this, for example, in marketing. Some of the businesses, they think marketing is an expenses.
Yeah. True.
Marketing is not expense. Marketing is an investment. You know what I mean? So if you go around Nairobi, you will see KFC billboard every corner.
Yeah.
How many billboards do you see for Ken Chick?
Actually,
they're not there anymore.
You know what I'm saying? So because they're taking money out of business, they're not putting money out of business, and they don't evolve. They don't change the systems and the processes. They don't change, the services.
Yeah.
They don't do. They don't put money in the R&D. They don't research what the best chicken in the market. You know what I mean? Because then they think the standard is too low because they're just serving Kenya. But now you have a global player coming in your market. Now you have to up your game to compete with a company with billions of dollars.
No, it's like Red Bull. I'm like, it's just an energy drink. Why is it all over the place, man? They're doing the most. They're in
Marketing.
football teams, they're in basketball, they're in sports, all kinds of sports.
Actually, Red Bull itself does not create Red Bull. Red Bull is just a marketing company.
Oh, they don't.
That's what they do. They just do marketing. What they do is they own the trademark and they own the recipe, and they just find the manufacturers to manufacture the product. All they do them is just marketing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a marketing agency.
Yeah, it's like a marketing agency. You know what I'm saying? So it's just marketing. But I think all this comes from simple problems. Is people hire mediocre. You know what I mean? We don't prioritize talent. We don't treat people with the talent with respect. You know what I mean? I would say like a lot of young people. It's sad, but it's true. A lot of people, a lot of people that poor, they're broke, right?
Yeah.
And they're not gonna get out of it.
You can say that louder.
It's a sad story, bro. A lot of young people are so broke that they cannot get married. You know what I mean? And the old people are like, why don't you get married? But if you don't know why they're broke, it's actually the system makes them broke. Look, the government. Everybody's old. You know what I'm saying? Look,
valid observation.
Look at the government. Even the minister of youth is 60. You know what I'm saying? I saw this photo from Nigeria. The minister of youth is like 65 years old. You know what I mean? So, and then you look the corporations. The corporation in Africa, the C-suite is old people.
Old people, yeah.
You know what I mean? The people are the CEO, the COO, the CFO. They're all old people.
Yeah.
Now ask yourself, where will young people get the money from?
True.
Because the money has to come from somewhere.
There's a disconnect.
There's a disconnect between young people and money.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, the consequence of that system is actually really, really big to the entire country.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Because only young people have new ideas.
For sure.
Only young people have new ideas. It's a known fact. Only young people can innovate. Old people cannot innovate. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So when you don't empower young people, you know what I mean? If you have a good idea, for example, here, you cannot get funding. It's impossible. Nobody will give you a check for $10 million or $1 million to work on your new AI product.
Yeah.
Nobody will give you $10 million to solve food problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, there is no support system for young people. So if you compare this to like America, you go in Silicon Valley, you have an idea, no prototype, just idea on paper.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to the Silicon Valley, you're gonna at least find 5-6 investors who are gonna listen to you. And if they think this makes sense, you're gonna get $1 million check. You know what I mean? So young people already, they have no support systems.
Yeah.
And they're going to be poor. And it's very sad. And also there's a culture problems too. In African culture, we prioritize older people. You are in a bus, the old men come in, you have to stand up and they have to sit.
Yeah, and they saw the bus was full. As if they literally saw the bus was full and they still enter.
You know what I mean? And if you don't stand up, they're like,
oh, you're being
looking at you now.
Yeah.
So that system does translate in a work environment whereby people think to be a wise leader, you have to be old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, that's a young person. What does he know? You know what I mean? If this Safaricom big company, we cannot hire that little boy. You know what I mean? And then you have people over there who does not know anything is going on in the market. And then you have young people broke.
Yeah, and they're shut down, especially like, for example, in my field, in the creative field, I was doing branding for a certain person. And this guy was just like, so you're going to leave me with paperwork? Like, no, you just want a signage out there saying this is it. I'm like, this is going to carry you for the rest of your company. But they don't get it. And they don't want to get it.
Because they have old people
mentality,
running those businesses. I'm telling you. And the consequence on this country for this system of dismissing young people, there's no innovation.
No wonder things are outdated.
Look around Nairobi. Everything you see is real estate.
True.
The problem is idiots have money and the smart people don't have money. I'm telling you, bro. If you look closely, idiots have money and the smart people don't. And when you give the money to the idiots, what do you think they do? They build a house.
Build some apartments and shit.
If you give money to a young person, they try out new things.
Yeah.
So
my question is, your agency, what does it offer to the youth? Especially, you said you don't have you just have to acquire education until Form 4, high school.
Yep.
Once you're done,
you should go.
How can I be assured I'm gonna be safe in your hands?
Okay, so one thing is, I believe in the individuality. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's an individual.
Yeah.
You guys, both of you guys learn the graphic design.
Yeah.
But it does not mean you guys are gonna earn the same amount of money.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Does not mean you guys are gonna perform exactly the same.
Yeah.
For us, we actually transition more to education company. And we are providing alternative options to the traditional education.
Okay.
So what we give you like a skills that is global. That's number one. We give you skill that can carry you along the way. We give you skill just like a barber shop, being a barber. We give you a skill that's anywhere you move, you still have a market value. You know what I mean? So and also we solving like four problems, right? Number one, we cut the time down. You don't have to be in a school for 4 years. You know what I mean? And most people when they go to school and they finish, they graduate, they never read a book again.
Guilty.
because they think education ends.
Yeah, at school, yeah.
So I'm saying, but so for us, we give you education's short amount of time. It's 3 months programs. You're done. We focus on only one course. You don't learn the necessary elective classes. You know, you go to university. They say you have to learn some classes we never need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So 3 months you complete. Well, you know, we direct you to the job market. So right now we already applied with New York Board of Education. So we're looking to get our class certified. So by January, you're actually gonna get a certification once you're done with our classes. So, you know, we're still updating a class. Right now we have just 2 programs. It's about general virtual assistant as well as digital marketing program. And by the next year in January, we're gonna update more programs in it.
So how does one get in touch?
Yeah. That's something I wanted to ask actually.
I mean, yeah, you can get in touch. We have. Do you mind you guys leave a link on this video? Yeah, we can leave a link. You know, you guys can sign up, and they're gonna give you a call, see if you qualify. Yeah, you must be 18. That's number one. And you must have at least high school diploma to be able to, you know. That's why I say high school diploma is very, very important. You know what I mean? Just have a high school diploma. You know, speak good English, and also time management.
Time management.
Because that is one of the biggest problems when it comes to a lot of people. You know what I mean? So, but I think right now people need to start thinking different. You don't have to go spend $10,000-$20,000 in a university. And you came out of school broke. You know what I mean? And you come out of school, your parents are broke. Because you finish all their resources on the school, and now you're sleeping in a bedroom. You know what I'm saying? and your dad is like, "Why you here?" You know what I mean? Every time you go on the table to eat, you feel so guilty. You know what I'm saying? Because like damn, man, I'm still eating on this table with all the bread they spent. And you have your little brother still need the money to go to school. So some people they end up running to the cities, just running away from the feeling. And some people live in the city here, lying their parents they have a good job. You know, so just not make their parents, you know, have a heart attack. But yeah, so in Africa Academy, that's our company. You know, we provide educations on demand skills. You know, we give you skills that you actually need, and also we have in-house recruitment agency. This is more like how do you call it, like a career orientation. You know what I mean? So let's say for example, when you go to school, right, you spend all that money. Once you're done, they don't care if you get a job or not. You know what I mean, the school should be doing more. At least by the time people finish school, the school should at least have a partnership with like Safaricom. That Safaricom, you know, exclusively reserve jobs for their students. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it should be a little bit more competitive. You know what I mean? So you should, when you choose to school to go, you should have some reason why. And this school has a partnership with Safaricom, more likely to get a job there. You know what I mean? So for us, once you take our programs, 4 months or 3 months done, we have our career orientations. We give you like trainings in terms of like how to get a job online, how to get to get a job remote. We give you some recommendations as well. We have partnerships with some employers, and we have some leads coming in. People, you know, asking like, hey, you know, we're looking for virtual assistant. Are you able to provide one? So we give you all those leads. We give all those referral. We give all those recommendations. But it's still again your responsibility to attend the interview and do what you're supposed to do.
So you look out for whoever, you know, enrolls with you guys.
So that's for us. We're not just building education platform, right? and in Africa, just like the name says, on in Africa, right?
Mhm.
And in Africa, our vision is to become more like youth-driven movement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To where, people have to make it in Africa. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, there's so much opportunity in Africa, but you only see that when you leave Africa. It's sad, but when you're in Africa, all you see is problems.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like the lights issue.
For example, the lattice, right? Because when I was in Tanzania, for example, I saw so many Turkish people coming in. And this Airbnb I was staying in, we come, we'll be like, oh man, Africa has so much opportunity, too much money, and they will get rich within a matter of a year.
Yeah. What are they doing different?
They were into like a food production. So much opportunity. They will come, they already did market research, they already know what they're gonna do. They come here, they buy land in Tanzania, bro. You buy land for $40 an acre, bro. I'm telling you, I swear to God, this place, what's the name of this place? Man, it's like this place, like in Tanzania, like really in the villages. But it's they have the most arable land in Tanzania, right? There's this one guy. He's a Tanzanian. He lives in Washington State. So he came to Tanzania. He was staying in my Airbnb, and he bought 216 acres, $40 a pop. You know what I mean? So.
Buy land in Tanzania.
Tanzania is good for farming. Beautiful land. Massive opportunity in terms of East Africa. You can supply product to Kenya, whatever. The only problem with Tanzania is they have some communist rules, some communist laws still going on. But Tanzania is not bad. So what I was saying is, you only see opportunity in Africa when you're outside Africa. But Africa has so much opportunities. I'll give you, for example, 4 industries. This is a public record. You can look on the World Bank. You can look this on McKinsey. You can look this on, IMF websites. 5 industries in Africa which is supposed to hit $1 trillion by 2050 easily. Real estate, that's number 1. Healthcare, that's number 2. People are going to become middle class. They're going to buy insurance. They're going to go to hospital. They're going to be opportunity in medicine productions. And then there's a food production. One of my favorite one. Number 1, Africa owns 60% for all the arable land in the world.
60%.
60% of all the land is in Africa.
Yes,
and I mean, but we are still importing food. And I mean, so the problem is inefficiency. And also the other problem with the food is that the WTO, the World Trade Organizations, there's a bad agreements that most African countries signed, which force African countries to reduce the taxes on the food import from other countries, and then they come to destroy our local market. Then number 4, you're looking at the energy production. Today there's no electricity. Wake up. You know what I mean? So energy production is going to be one of the best opportunity. I'm looking into solar. Nairobi has too much sun, and they still don't have enough energy. You know what I mean? The solar going to be a lot of opportunity in there. The wind, they're going to be opportunity in the geothermal. One of my favorite one too. In Uganda has massive of them. And then the fifth industry is education. You know what I mean? Education is going to be good industry because education has been a disappointment to a lot of young people. And it's not, it does not innovate fast enough. So any entrepreneur who can provide a better alternative to the educations, more innovative, as well cheaper and accessible to everybody. People don't have to move from the village to go and live in a campus, and all they're doing is just having sex.
No, facts.
I'm sorry, but that's the best thing about university.
For sure.
Just assignments. Once you're done with them, get into the shits.
That's the best thing about university.
Us and assignments.
You send your kid to school, you think they are learning. But they're building something different. You know what I'm saying?
They're learning. They're learning some skills actually.
But yeah, Africa is the future. It's not. Africa is not the future. Africa is the now. You know what I'm saying? Today, Africa, I believe, there's a massive opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Massive opportunity for the young people. You know what I mean? And in America, there's so much money chasing too few opportunities. That's why there's so much competition. You find a small industry like gas stations, which is supposed to be owned by family. You find that owned by corporations. It's a proof that there's so much money, but there's too little opportunities. In Africa, it's opposite. There's too much opportunities, but there's too little money to do it. You know what I'm saying? So And in Africa, for us, the vision is to be able to train young people, give them up to their skills as we move into financing. Financing, we're going to provide capital. If any young man who has a skill, not even just skill, if you have an idea, should be able to get funding. Few people should not control what get built and what does not get built. You know what I'm saying? That's it, and that's the big problem in Africa we have right now is we have guys in IMF controlling what financing you get and which financing you don't get. You know what I'm saying? They control if you build a road or hospital. You know what I'm saying? So and in Africa for us, that's how I like to look at it. I like to look at it as a movement toward post old people. We don't want to have old people running companies no more. We don't want to have old people running governments no more. You know what I mean? So this is just a new vision. You know what I mean? And I'm proud to be a part of this thing.
So we're diving into the last 5 minutes. Maybe you can give us the charges, your
for the programs.
System. Yeah, for the programs, because
you know when you said the
guys,
you know when you said the money, everybody's like
it's a strong word.
You know what I mean? But the thing is, some stuff don't have a price. You have to look at the value you're getting. Understand? So I'm not gonna. This is why I'm not gonna give you charges right now. Is I want you to, because when you say the dollar amount, everybody focus on the dollar amount. They forget the value they're getting. So we're gonna leave the link below. You can schedule a call. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna give you a call and you ask you the prices. And make sure when you call, don't ask the first question, "What's the price?" So when you call, you ask for example, "What is this about?"
So that
what am I getting?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we can do a lot when young people comes together, because we don't have money, but we hold the skill. You know what I mean? We hold the skill to build this great land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kenya should be bigger than UK. It's a fact. Kenya has better resources than UK. You know what I mean? Why is UK bigger than Kenya? It makes no sense. And also, we have to leave this inferiority mindset. You know what I mean? A lot of people by default they think white people are better than them. You understand? By default, bro. And this happened to me in Tanzania. I went to the Tanzania, the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Tanzania. I was wearing my shorts, and they said you cannot go inside with the shorts. And I mean, you have to go back wear pants. I'm like, okay, cool. I got on a motorcycle to go put on my pants. I saw white men with a short, and they let him in.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So that's the issue, man.
Anyway, this is just out of topic, this question, honestly. Since you've lived a nomadic lifestyle, I want to know the prettiest ladies. Where have you found them? I'm just curious. I'm a man who does research at the same time.
I mean, I would say it depends what
taste.
you're looking for.
Yeah.
Some ladies are good at bang good partners. Some ladies are good at for a night out. And some ladies are good at being good caring mom. You know what I'm saying? So
good caring mom. That's
mine.
So
you sure?
And also some people like different skin tone. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I find I think you cannot say the prettiest women, because I feel that is a little bit sexist. But you can. I would say my type, right?
Yeah, you can tell us. Yeah.
I think Uganda has probably.
Uganda
probably the best lady. The reason why I think about it is, the reason why I think about it is, for me, when I'm looking for a lady, I'm looking more like a partner and a good mom. My opinion about Kenyan women, they're too masculine. not physical. It's great. Kenyan women, there's no difference between Kenyan women and American women. I'm not talking about physical, mentally. Kenyan women, they know how to find money on their own. They know how to build a business on their own. They know how to be independent on their own, which is great. So they know how to think like men. Anything a man can do, a Kenyan woman can do it.
Yeah, nice. That
is good. And if in Kenya, the only country I saw a woman doing welding is in Kenya. You know what I'm saying? But Kenyan women, that's it. They're just super independent, hardworking, and smart, just like men. And in Tanzania, I don't like that country that much. But Tanzania women, that'd be a little bit soft,
Yeah, soft.
good looking.
Okay.
But
Go as software.
yeah, that's soft and good looking. I say
okay.
that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so. Well,
Uganda is the place.
no, it's just my type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
If you're looking for an independent woman, Kenya is the place.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Independent woman, hard working. But if you want to be the king of your house, and you want to be the one to provide, and you come home in a warm house, I say go visit Uganda.
So where do we find you on social media? For the people who are interested, even including your agency, it's on Instagram.
Yeah. I can give you my the links.
Okay. Yeah.
Drop on them,
No,
so
it will be in the description.
Yeah. Huh? Okay, so my Instagram account is Prince_Eve_. I'm sorry I couldn't find the name Prince Eve, so I had to put some underscore to get it. But yeah, I do post some little bit of videos when I'm out on a walk. Give a little bit some information on different topics, so you can find some of the information over there. But more information, you can add some a little bit like the links and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevman?
Something we always do in each episode, you'll recommend something you've watched, you've listened to, or you've read to the people.
To the people?
Yeah.
What we recommend people to read is the World Bank article about the agricultural opportunity in Africa. I think every young man should read that. Because, I know the article was written in a perspective of Western corporations to take advantage of that market. But I think every African kid should read that. Another thing very important is Congo hold 80 million hectares of arable land. So, Congo's in East Africa right now. You can go over there, get land. Uganda, Tanzania hold about 8 million of acres of arable land. Land is very cheap, so yeah.
Okay. So you've had it.
You've had it, yeah?
From Prince Eve himself.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, your recommendations for this week?
Well, I don't have any article or any book for that matter. Just keep watching Netflix.
No, I cannot do Netflix.
Man.
You want me to give you a book to recommend?
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I find it so hard to read. I'm more of a visual person.
This plan.
But I'm looking into it.
Read 5 pages a day. Doesn't matter how you feel. Don't go above that. Over time, you start reading a book a day.
5 pages.
You know what I mean? So to do that, you're going to need to read a book called Atomic Habits. Pretty good book. Teach you how to build little habits over time. If you want to read, you can they teach you how to kind of become a reader. If you want to start a business, anything you want to do. So basically, because 90% of our actions come from our habit.
For sure.
You know what I mean? If you get fat, not because you ate too much, it's because you eat uncontrollable. You know what I mean? Too much snack.
That's what's happening to me. I think that's my problem. That's my problem.
Make gym your habit now.
Kevin, finish up.
And what do you recommend?
For books, I'm not much of a non-fiction. I always read fiction. I'll recommend which one? I'll recommend any Stephen King book. It's thriller, horror type shit. For a series, I would recommend Succession. For those who have not watched it, it's the best out there this year.
Succession.
For music, follow me on Instagram. I post my playlists.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what's going on, man.
I'm cooking something. Yeah, for sure.
You rap or
that's more of a hobby, but I paint.
Oh, you paint. Painting is better than rapping.
Facts. Had it here, folks.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a rapper. When I was in high school, I wanted to be a rapper. But
every black person has their face.
So
their gene activates at different times. So Jeff, maybe in your 50s.
No, I did. I released a couple of bangers in high school. I had one called M16, Filthy Rich Skinny Beach.
Let's just stop there.
I'm friends with Kiboro. Come on, I have a whole album, man. Anyway, that's a wrap from Init Podcast.
Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Spotify. Make sure to leave us a rating. On YouTube, make sure to subscribe, leave the notifications on, share to anyone who's not in it. Too. Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Don't forget the links.
The links are in the description.
The links are gonna be in the descriptions, and this is gonna be the biggest podcast in Africa. So
in the world. In the world. I mean, we're working on a global team.
Step by step. In Africa in the next 2 years, we're gonna be the biggest podcast in Africa. So yeah, make sure to follow this podcast everywhere they are. You know what I mean? Follow, leave a comment, subscribe, share, notification bell, and I mean share to your friends, man. Let's go.
Let's get. See you next time.
We out.